NPR News and the New York Conversation.
Marketplace is supported by Condor Airlines, with nonstop flights from 8 U.S. gateways to Frankfurt, connecting to European destinations like Venice, Barcelona, and Budapest. Condor.com.
On the program today, sticky inflation. We'll do some video gaming, and we'll talk about living on a cruise ship. From American Public Media, this is Marketplace.
Marketplace is supported by Amazon Business, dedicated to helping businesses save time on office tasks and empower leaders with business buying solutions that support teams to focus on growing the business. Learn about smart business buying at amazonbusiness.com. And by Bitwarden Password Manager, with a solution designed to secure passwords and accounts across the enterprise in the new year and beyond. Available at bitwarden.com. And by Bison Managed 401k, a service where advisors actively manage 401k accounts to help individuals meet retirement goals. The Bison Calculator is available at powermy401k.com.
In Los Angeles, I'm Kai Rizdal. It is Wednesday today. This one is the 25th of February. Good as always to have you along, everybody. We're going to begin today with a 1-2 punch of sorts coming out of our interview with Raphael Bostic, the soon-to-be former president of the Federal Reserve Bank of Atlanta. In the parts of that interview that we played yesterday, and we're going to play some more in a minute, by the way, but we talked a bit, he and I did, about the central bank's credibility, how and why people might start doubting the Fed's ability to do its job. In this instance, specifically, being able to get inflation back to where the central bank wants it to be, 2%, as you know, after not having been able to do it for years now, as you also know. He worries about that, Bostic said. So, Marketplace's Sabri Benishore gets us going with this. Have we been away from ideal inflation for so very long now that we're stuck here?
You know, in Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back, Luke is trying to raise his spaceship out of a swamp.
I can't. It's too big.
And then Yoda uses the Force and actually does it.
I don't believe it.
That is why you fail.
This is a common trope in movies, the idea that believing in something or not believing in something makes that something happen or not happen. Inflation is like that.
You can have a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yuri Gorodnichenko is a professor of economics at UC Berkeley.
If you want to buy a car and you think inflation is going to be high in the future, then you should be willing to buy this car now rather than later.
And if everybody does that, then the price of that car goes up.
I expect prices to be high and end up with higher prices.
Right now, consumers expect high inflation. According to the Michigan Survey of Consumers, they think on average, inflation will be 6.5% in a year and 7.2% in 5 to 10 years.
This is really, really high. It is relatively easy to create this self-fulfilling prophecy.
The only thing holding consumers back from getting out there and buying stuff and kicking off a vicious circle is uncertainty about the economy, Gorodnichenko says. But there is a wrinkle in all of this, which is that we consumers, turns out, are usually very bad at predicting inflation.
Consumer expectations haven't been anchored at the 2% inflation target for like the last 4.5 decades.
Michael Weber is a professor of finance at Purdue University. He says the spark for a self-fulfilling inflation prophecy isn't the number inside consumers' brains. It's whether that number is changing inside their brains. And right now, it is.
Inflation expectations keep coming down.
So we might not know where we are, but we have a better sense of where we're headed. And if you look at it that way, we should be headed for lower inflation. But a vicious inflation circle that can throw all of that in the air is only ever a few painful grocery bills away. In New York, I'm Sabri Benishore for Marketplace.
Here's today's installment of our series, Adventures in Housing.
My name is Brian James, and I live on a cruise ship. That's what I've been doing for the better part of the last 8 or 9 years. Everybody that does music, wants to be a star, and you think to be a star, you got to go down this path of writing and recording and releasing. And I found out that you can be totally fulfilled performing, but doing it on a ship. They sit down at your bar and it's just you and a microphone. And as long as you're playing them what they want to hear, shoot, they'll stick around all week long. They'll be pumped to go see you every single night. When I first started, I think I was making $2,500 a month. And the fact is that can go pretty far because you are living on a cruise ship, because you don't have expenses. So you don't have to pay for your food. You don't have to pay for your lodging. Your insurance is covered. That's just fun money if you want it to be. And for the first couple of years on ships, it was purely fun money. You sign up for 6 months at a time, 8 months at a time, 10 months at a time. Certain performers do a full year. Everybody is living in these close quarters and you're all below deck and you all eat breakfast at the same place and lunch at the same place. And after work, you all go to the same bar. It's just inevitable that relationships blossom. I met the loveliest girl. I was doing music, she was dancing. But because an entertainer's role is so specific, they hire one of my position on the ship and they hire 3 of her position on the ship. So we had to make a decision really recently where she got put on a ship and it wasn't a ship that I got hired on. So I had to basically quit. I had to quit my job and instead live on ships full time, but as a guest. So I've been a paying guest for the last 8 months or so. I get put on a little standby list by the cruise company. Because she works for the cruise line, she gets benefits kind of like the airlines do benefits. So I have been maxing out her allotment of times that I can come on the ship. And yeah, I'm very, very fortunate that there's a massive, massive group of people on this planet that are constantly keeping up with what's happening on cruises. And so I literally just post videos every couple of days of what we are doing on the ship, whether it's eating at the buffet or it's going to Jaden shows, maybe it's walking around at port, and YouTube pays us. Home is ships. And I know that's not for everybody. I have 2 little nephews and I've missed a lot of their birthdays. It sucks. But I still do think the overall lifestyle of living on a ship it's been too good not to do.
Brian James Henderson, living on a cruise ship somewhere in the Caribbean for now. You can tell us about your adventure in housing by sea, land, or air at marketplace.org. Let's do the numbers. Dow Industrials up 307 points today, 0.6%, 49,482. The NASDAQ added 288 points, 1.25%, 23,152. The S&P 500 gained 56 points, 0.8% is what that works out to, 69.46. The Mediterranean fast casual chain Cava set a record with more than $1 billion in sales. That is a whole lot of grain bowls topped with feta, I'll tell you that. CEO told CNBC that the restaurant provides, and this is a quote, a bit of a bridge across the K-shaped economy. She said the best performing locations are in markets with lower median income. That's interesting. Think about that. Cava Group soared 26.4%. Today, competitor Chipotle added 2.8%. The salad-driven Sweetgreens climbed 8.3% on the day. Bonds down, yield on the 10-year T-note thus rose 4.05%. You're listening to Marketplace.
Marketplace Numbers is supported by Commvault, providing data resilience and recovery for large-scale enterprise environments. Commvault.com. Marketplace is supported by GEP, at the forefront of agentic procurement orchestration and autonomous supply chains. With GEP Smart Software, GEP Key Agentic AI, and Strategy Consulting, GEP works to help business optimize value and reduce risk. And by Revenued, providing working capital for businesses whose cash flow is holding them back. Revenued approves businesses based on revenue, not credit, and funds can be approved and available in just one day. Visit getrevenued.com. And by Condor Airlines, offering nonstop service to Frankfurt, Germany from 8 U.S. gateways with connections to European destinations like Venice, Barcelona, Budapest, and more. Learn more at condor.com. Condor Airlines. Welcome aboard.
Once is not enough. For example, you don't pay the rent just once.
So, assuming we live here for 10 years, here's my check for $300,000. Who do I make it out to?
You don't listen to the radio once.
Very interesting. You can hear people's voices coming out of this little box.
And you don't pledge to WNYC just once, do you?
If they had invested my $50 back in 1998, they'd have a nice return by now.
Call 1-888-376-9692 or go online to WNYC.org to renew your membership. We need your support to keep New York's public radio on the air every year.
Okay, so that is actually really relevant to what we need to talk to you about. Very serious matter here, okay? We've been talking, I'm throwing all caution in the wind just because we have a goal to hit and we have 19 minutes to do it, so I'm just going to dive right in here. You've been listening to the Pledge Drive today on WNYC. We've had these goals. We have a goal for the entire Pledge Drive of 10,000 sustaining contributions by the end of the Pledge Drive, 10,000, right? We started today with a 1,500 sustainer member goal to hit. We hit that at like 420, right? And then our benevolent pledge overlords said, you got to get 300 more by the end of this shift, like get to work. And we did it. We exceeded that. So thank you to everyone who met and exceeded both of those goals. But then we got given another challenge by our benevolent pledge overlords who said, get another 100 by 7 p.m. And I am happy to report that we only have 24 more to go in the next 19 minutes. So we are asking, yes, we give you all these altruistic reasons to give to public radio, right? Like, give because you want to support independent journalism. Give because you support public media for everybody in your community who maybe can't afford it themselves. Those are all great reasons to give. I'm asking you to give for me right now so that the benevolent pledge overlords do not come down on us and say, you've missed the mark, Carlson. I'm asking you right now to give to WNYC. Be one of those 24 that we need to meet that goal. We can do it. 18 minutes to go. Call, contribute, and to the point that you just heard, if you're already a sustaining member, if you give more, say add like $3 on to your monthly contribution, you will be added in that total. So everyone in the pool right now, call. I want to see these phone bags lighten up with everyone calling right now to help exceed this goal. 888-376-9692 or WNYC.
Join Carol in Highland, New York, who says, whenever I'm working around the house, I ask Alexa to play WNYC. Whatever time it is, there's always something important or interesting on the air. Thank you so much for help keeping me, I almost said insane, keeping me sane.
Good catch.
Yeah, thank you, Carol. Also, Mohammed in Queens Village. Before I found WNYC, I used to spend hours searching for credible news outlets on YouTube to play on my car rides. It's important to me that my news comes from sources that spend more time doing actual journalism than just appeasing a specific point of view or political belief.
That's great.
Muhammad, we could have not said that better ourselves.
Totally.
For sure. Join Mohammed in Queens Village. Join Carol in Highland. 888-376-9692. Yes, you can help us reach our goal. Yes, you can help us sustain this radio station. Yes, you can keep Sean out of hot water.
Yes.
All of those things can happen at the same time. 888-376-9692, WNYC.org.
Psst. Hey there, sustaining member. Yeah, it's just us, WNYC. You only hear this because you're a sustaining member. It's a brand new technology, pretty cool. Not exactly sure how it works or if I've completely made it up. But anyway, we just wanted to say thanks. We really appreciate you. And since I have you, I'd like to ask you to consider adding an extra $3 a month to your ongoing donation to help give WNYC an even more secure future and to help us provide you with the news you need and captivating conversations that you look forward to. $3 more a month will have an incredible impact. We count on you, and we know you count on us. Okay, I have to go talk to the others now. Again, you're the best sustaining member. You really are. $3 more. Here's how to do it.
888-376-9692 or WNYC.org. You can also contribute through the WNYC app. Okay, again, throwing caution to the wind. I'm just going to go right to the heart of this thing. 15 more to go. We said, okay, between the hour of 6 and 7, we want 100 more sustaining contributions to get us to where we need to be. We are so close to hitting that. We have 15 more minutes to go. If you're listening right now, if you're driving, pull over. I don't want you to really, seriously, be safe. I'm not trying to get you to call while you're driving your car right now, but pull over. Pull over to the side of the road. Call, pick up right now. If you're making dinner, I don't know, put it on simmer for a minute. It takes 2 seconds. You actually can multitask and cook, and I do it a lot, but call, contribute to WNYC. Help us meet that goal. Support public radio in your community now. 888-376-9692 or WNYC.org. And thanks.
This is Marketplace. I'm Kai Risdall. You remember back in the day when the internet was the new thing, that Google had a slogan? Don't be evil, they promised. Time flies, I guess, and corporate priorities change, but artificial intelligence has brought technology safeguards racing back to the fore. This is a tad bit inside baseball, but bear with me. The AI firm Anthropic is in a fight with the Pentagon over its safety guidelines. The Pentagon wants them relaxed, and until today, Anthropic did not. This morning, though, the company said it will, in fact, relax its rules around when to deploy new and more advanced versions of its AI because, this is what the company says, it risks being left behind by its competitors. Marketplace's Nova Safo is on the AI and the Future of Humanity desk for us today.
Way back when, in the AI dark ages of 2021, some OpenAI execs left to form what they called a safer alternative, Anthropic. Owen Daniels is with Georgetown University Center for Security and Emerging Technology.
Anthropic has long been one of the frontier labs that's been most acutely focused on ensuring that its systems and applications are used in kind of a safe, responsible, and ethical way.
To avoid things like AI that lies to achieve a goal or that builds bioweapons on command. Core to Anthropic's safety effort had been a pledge called the Responsible Scaling Policy, says Sarah Myers-West of the AI Now Institute.
Which essentially says if they believe that the capabilities of these tools outstrip their ability to control them and ensure that they're safe, they would stop building them.
Anthropic says it was trying to stave off a race to a bottom with that policy, but it admits it failed to persuade other companies to take its stricter safety approach. The change it announced yesterday means they may keep building more advanced models, even if they're riskier. Brent Thill, a tech industry analyst at Jefferies, says AI companies are getting more ambitious.
I think there's incredible pressure from OpenAI, from Microsoft, from many of the top technology companies as AI is going from a consumer-based technology to now inside the enterprise. The race is on, right?
You need more advanced AI to run financial systems versus finding the best latte. And as companies spend hundreds of billions of dollars to build those tools, Georgetown's Owen Daniels says they need to start making money, too.
There is a tension that's difficult for these companies to navigate in deploying the latest versions of models in ways that are economically useful and can be beneficial to their bottom lines,
while balancing that with the risks AI may pose. An Anthropic spokesperson said they're now committing to more transparency to publish detailed reports about the risks and capabilities of its AI. I'm Nova Safo for Marketplace.
Maybe you've heard this data point before. I have, but every time I run across it, I do a double take. Video games are a bigger industry by annual revenue than movies and music combined, and it's not even close. And last year was the industry's second best year on record, so says the Entertainment Software Association, among others. We only spent more on games when we were locked down with little else to do but play Fortnite. And it's not a fluke either. 2026 could turn out to be the best year ever. Marketplace's Kelly Wells explains what's going on.
Video games used to be a real boom or bust industry, a lot like Hollywood, but instead of everyone rushing to go see Wicked, we'd all rush to buy the newest PlayStation or Nintendo gaming system and wait for months or years for the next installment of Zelda or Star Wars or Madden. Those booms still happen.
The market and consumption definitely reacts to big marquee releases, whether those are new machines or really big pieces of IP.
Dimitri Williams is a communications professor at USC. He says there was a boom when the Nintendo Switch 2 came out last June, for example. What's different is there don't seem to be busts anymore.
Pretty much everybody who wants to play can now because of the proliferation of smartphones all over the world and the drop in costs for bandwidth and access.
And most people do want to play.
This is not one demographic. Young kids don't spend enough to spend $60.7 billion by themselves.
Aubrey Quinn with the trade group the Entertainment Software Association says 1 in 3 people over 80 years old and most baby boomers play video games every week.
I feel like every time I sit on a plane next to a woman 50 or older, she has got her iPad out or her phone out and she is doing some sort of puzzle matching something game.
The 8-year-old Roblox warriors and the 80-year-old Candy Crushers are primarily spending on what's called the free-to-play games. These are the ones where you can grind for hours without paying a cent, but you get interrupted every 5 minutes with an ad. And if you just spent $4.99 a month, you could get rid of the ads and unlock this special currency that would make building your virtual garden go way faster. If you've ever done that, you have added to the $61 billion gaming industry. The other growing model here is gaming subscriptions. Just like you pay for Spotify or Netflix, you might buy a season pass that unlocks cool costumes and catchphrases for your character.
We see subscription services taking off in terms of adoption across all forms of entertainment. So I don't think it's surprising that we're seeing similar models resonate with consumers in gaming.
Meanwhile, the gaming industry itself is resonating with other forms of entertainment. We've had movies on Super Mario and Minecraft, and gaming gets a lot of free advertising on social media.
These games are incredibly content creator friendly. They're clip generators. They create clips that people can post on TikTok or YouTube, whatever it might be, and draw more viewers to your channel.
Sam Ani with the digital analytics group Sensor Tower says all of that has been driving growth in the industry. 2025 also got a good old-fashioned boost from the new Nintendo console, and this year is set to get a boost too.
Grand Theft Auto 6, that's something that we've been waiting for over a decade. Everyone thinks that GTA 6 is going to be one of the hugest moments in maybe gaming history when it comes out later this year, fingers crossed.
Grand Theft Auto has a little bit of everything that makes games profitable. You'll pay a lot of money for it. You can play online and pay money for cool bells and whistles. There'll be clips on social media. Plus, it'll generate the same everybody's doing it fervor as dressing in pink and going to see the Barbie movie. Here's USC's Dimitri Williams again.
The one big tent pole sometimes is something that people will rally around, the way that you'd say, well, nobody watches the same thing anymore except for the Academy Awards and the Super Bowl. Sometimes that's the equivalent in games.
Except imagine if the Super Bowl only came around every 13 years. Analysts say Grand Theft Auto 6 could help make 2026 the industry's biggest year yet. I'm Kaylee Wells for Marketplace.
Marketplace is supported by Baird. Baird strives to attract and retain top financial professionals, providing stability and continuity of advice for clients across market environments. More information at BairdDifference.com. And by Odoo.com, offering integrated programs for sales, customer relationship management, inventory, and other business operations, designed to work together as a customizable software suite. Odoo, all your business on one platform.
This final note on the way out today, a financial exclamation point on Nova's story about artificial intelligence. NVIDIA reported earnings after the bell today. The first among equals AI chip design company for its fiscal first quarter had 79 billion American dollars in revenue. $79 billion in 12 short weeks. You take your pick, bubble or structural change. Could be both, too, by the way. Our media production team includes Brian Allison, John Foki, Montana Johnson, Drew Jostad, Gary O'Keefe, and Charlton Thorpe. I'm Kai Risdall. We will see you tomorrow, everybody. This is APM.
When you work in the news, you have